everyone, my name is Tammy, and thank you for joining us for the Willoughby Eastlake Public Library's version of the Rose Parade. Welcome to my rose garden, and let us get started. If you're in the mood to celebrate, our parade steps off with 4th of July. It is a climbing rose and was first bred in 1999, and the petals on it look almost like fireworks. The colors are a combination of dark red, white, and pink, and the unique part of this rose is that the sunlight affects how each flower displays the colors. And the more sunlight, the more red comes out, and the less sunlight, the more the pink and the white stripes and the speckles come out on the flower. So it's almost like each flower is unique in a way. And the petals are ruffled, and there's only 8 to 10 petals on each one, but they come in little bouquets. And the stems are quite thick, so they hold up well in a vase. And it's a climbing rose, so it can grow up to 8 to 10 feet tall, and it can get up to 6 feet wide. And it's very fragrant, which is interesting because with all the color effects going on, usually you don't find a rose being fragrant too at the same time when it's multicolored. Joining the party is Garden Party. She's a hybrid tea rose. She's yellow and white. She was first bred in 1959, and she has 40 petals. She grows 3 to 6 feet tall, and she's 2 feet wide. She's very susceptible to mildew though, which is one of the disadvantages of this rose. Our next selection is this small pink rose that we grew as a cutting that came from my grandmother's yard, and it looks like it may have been originally possibly one of the Queen Elizabeth roses, but we're not quite sure exactly what her name is. She is a hybrid tea rose. She grows about 3 to 4 feet tall, and she gets 2 to 3 feet wide, and she's very fragrant. Wearing yellow is Marco Polo. He was first bred in 1992. He's a hybrid tea rose. He grows 2 to 4 feet tall and is 2 to 3 feet wide. and he has a strong spice fragrance. Wearing white is John Paul II. She's a hybrid tea rose. The color is white. And she has a strong citrus fragrance. She was first bred in 2007. And the petal count is 50. And she grows 4 to 5 feet tall. And she gets 2 to 3 feet wide. And like many of the other roses that don't have much color, she makes up for it with the strong fragrance. Wearing Burgundy is L.D. Braithwaite. She is an English rose. She was first bred in 1988. She has an Old Spice fragrance. She has 40 petals and she grows 6 feet tall and is 4 to 8 feet wide. Next up we have Paradise. She's wearing purple and pink. And depending upon how much sunlight she has, it has an interesting effect on her color. In the shade, the more purple comes out, and the more sun, the more pink comes out. She has 25 to 30 petals. She was first bred in 1979. And she doesn't get very tall or wide. She's only 3 to 4 feet tall and 2 to 3 feet wide. Wearing pink is Passionate Kisses. She's a Floribunda, and she was first bred in 1998. The petal count is 30. And she has a mild fragrance. She grows 4 to 5 feet tall, and she gets 3 to 4 feet wide. And the unique thing about this rose is how delicate the flowers appear when they bloom. Next up is Buff Beauty. She is an apricot rambling shrub. She was first bred in 1939. She has 50 petals, and the unique thing about her is that she has fish hook thorns on her, which are very painful when you get caught on them. She has flowers that grows in clusters, and she gets 4 to 10 feet tall and can get 4 to 8 feet wide. Next up is Appetizer. She is wearing dark purple. She's a Floribunda and was first bred in 2004. She has 25 petals and has a very spicy clove fragrance. She grows 4 feet tall by 4 feet wide, and the interesting thing about this rose is how the dark purple color at times can look almost bluish in color or black in color. Wearing white is Bolero. She was first bred in 2003. She's a floribunda and has over 100 petals. She's very fragrant with a fruity, spicy scent. She grows 3 to 4 feet tall and is 2 to 3 feet wide. Our next contestant is called Winter's Circle, and it's a climbing rose. It's red in color, and it only gets 7 to 10 petals. It was first bred in 2008, but the plant can get 10 to 12 feet tall and equally 10 to 12 feet wide. It's similar to the knockout roses, where the flowers come in clusters. At this point, this one has been pruned severely, but usually when it's in full bloom, the plant is quite striking, and there's several flowers all over the place, and as far as looking at it, it's quite a sight to see. But it doesn't hold up well as far as making it as a cutting it for a vase. And the flowers are not very fragrant, but they are quite disease resistant. Next in line is Preference. It's a floribunda, and its color is red, and it looks almost like velvet. It was first bred in 2004, and the petal count is 20. It's a very small bush, and it gets 3 to 4 feet tall, and its width is 2 to 3 feet wide. It's not very fragrant, but when it does bloom, you get a few small flowers at the same time, and unlike the hybrid tea roses that only give you one at a time. Our next selection is called Cherry Parfait. It is a Grandiflora, and its color is red, pink, and white. It was first bred in 2003. The petal count is 35, and depending on the amount of sunlight, the more sun you get, more red in the flower, and the more shade you get, more pink in the flower. It's not very fragrant, but the petal count is 35, but it gets lots of flowers, and it reflowers easily after pruning. It's 4 to 5 feet high and 3 to 5 feet wide. The stems can get quite long sometimes though. Next up, we have About Face. It is a Grandiflora. The color is orange and light orange. It was first bred in 2005. The color on the top of the petals is a light orange or yellow in tone, and the color on the bottom of the petal is a brighter orange. And from a distance, it gives the illusion of orange sherbet. While it looks very interesting, it's not very fragrant smelling. It's a very tall rose, It gets 4 to 6 feet tall, but it doesn't spread out, and it only gets 3 to 4 feet wide. And it has very dark green leaves. And it is very, very striking when you look at it. Our next selection is called the Lympiad. It's a dark red hybrid tea rose. It was first bred in 1974. It has 30 petals and it's very fragrant. It's resistant to mildew but prone to black spot. It was named the official rose of the 1984 Olympics. It grows 3 to 5 feet high and 2 to 3 feet wide. Next up we have Fraucarl Jerusha. She's a hybrid perpetual, and the color is white, and the petal count is over 40. She was first bred in 1901, and she's very fragrant, and she gets 6 to 7 feet tall and 4 to 4 feet wide, and she's very fragrant, and she's easy to grow from a cutting. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Willoughby Eastlake Public Library's Rose Parade. Thank you for joining us, and have a Happy New Year's. You can find more programs like this on WE247.org.